Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. I'd like to dedicate this video to good friends Yoni and Devorah Adler. Mazel tov to you upon the birth of a baby boy. May you go from one simcha to the next, and may you have a lot of nachas from all your children. In this week's Parashas Metzorah, the Torah teaches us the laws, the purification process of a Metzorah. A Metzorah is somebody that has an affliction, or he is a Metzorah. From the words Metzorah, he speaks evil about others as well. So not only is he afflicting himself, but he's actually causing affliction onto other people by speaking evilly against them. And what happens? So the Torah gives us warnings, gives the person warnings. There are different types of afflictions that first present themselves on a person's home, on the walls, or on a person's clothing, and eventually the skin itself. Now, if we stop and think for a minute over here, it's just some thoughts that I had. What's happening here is pretty incredible, as a matter of fact, that even when a person's doing evil, how does Hashem respond to him? Hashem responds in a miraculous way. Walls don't naturally have this growth that starts growing on an affliction that grows on there, on the Metzorahs. And clothing don't all of a sudden start sprouting themselves with a certain affliction, a certain malady. Well, it's obviously that it's a spiritual thing that's happening to Hashem. It allows it to be represented in a physical form, but it's nothing that normally happens in a physical realm. So here Hashem is doing a miracle for the sinner. And Hashem is saying, hey, Mr. Sinner, hello, wake up and smell the coffee. You got to change your ways. You can't be speaking evil about people. Can't be looking bad. Can't be looking with an evil eye towards people. You'd rather use your eye in tov. Look with a good eye. And so if the person doesn't get the message, then his clothing starts to get afflicted. If he doesn't get that message, then eventually gets onto his body. He's going to go to the Kohen, the whole purification process that the Torah states. Now, but it's just amazing that if for the sinner, Hashem is going to deal with him in miracles, eventually said he should get better. And also the person's thinking, a lot of people think, what does Hashem care about me? I'm just this tiny little speck in this huge cosmic world that we live in. When a person got the tzaras on his body and he was the only one or she was the only one that received it, Hashem was saying, I'm interested in you. And so therefore it was amazing. Hashem is giving me miracles, and he's doing it to me only. Now, if Hashem does that to us when we're doing the bad things, imagine how amazing Hashem deals with us when we do the right things. Certainly, Hashem will deal with us in a miraculous way. And speaking of ayin tov, ayin ra, a bad eye, an evil, because it's the bad eye. A person speaks Lashon Hara when he has a bad eye. Well, sometimes we speak Lashon Hara about Hashem. And we ask the big question that Moses himself asked Hashem, why do bad things happen to good people? And it's a great question. And I'm not validating Moses' questions. I'm validating anybody else who has this question. And one of the answers really is that, yes, bad things happen to good people, but do they really? And what I mean is that sometimes bad things happen to a good person. But that shouldn't be our focus. If anybody in this world wrote down on a piece of paper all the bad things, and I'm not mitigating any bad things that a person might be going through, but if you wrote down all the suffering that you may have in your life on one side of a piece of paper, on the other side of the piece of paper, you wrote down all the good things in your life, the good things would far outweigh 1,000,000 to 1, without exaggeration. Because when you thank Hashem for all the healthy cells that are working in your body, we're at 1,000,000,000,000 right there. When we thank Hashem for the fact that you have eyes and teeth and a tongue, and you can swallow properly, and you have a reproductive system, and you have a spleen, and you have a heart, and you have a liver, and everything is working functioning perfectly. So is Hashem really doing bad to us? No, Hashem is really doing good to us. So how we view what happens to us depends on our outlook. Do we have an ayin ra, and what will cause us to speak Lashon Hara about Hashem, or do we have an ayin tov? And Hashem responds, not only if you speak bad, do I care about you and do miracles for you, but certainly even if you give Hashem the benefit of the doubt, like we spoke a couple weeks ago, then certainly Hashem will do good for us, and it'll cause miracles to happen for us. And they may not manifest themselves in the way that we're maybe hoping. Hey, I won the lottery. No, it doesn't necessarily happen that we're going to win the Mega Millions or the Powerball. But whatever, no matter what it is, Hashem is there for us individually, and we see that Hashem takes care of us, even in the bad individually. Certainly when it comes to the good, if we do Hashem's will, Hashem will definitely take care of us. Have an amazing, amazing Shabbos, and thank you for listening.